Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome to WatchYouWant.com. Thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at what might be one of the quintessential references from the quintessential modern innovator in luxury tool watch aesthetics, especially with regard to aviation. Bell&Ross, based in Paris and manufactured in Switzerland, has really changed modern luxury watch buyers' concept of what an aviation watch should look like. Now, historically, we used to think that watches like the Omega Speedmaster Professional, the Rolex GMT Master and GMT Master 2, the Breitling Navitimer, these were the watches of reference in the aviation sector. And while no one may use them for actual aviation activity today, the bottom line is they were evocative in a way that was undeniable. When we saw those watches, we thought of the romance of flight. Flight in the mid-century. Flight when aircraft and airports and pilots were universally cool. They were rock stars. But today, recapturing the romance of that sort of bygone era of mechanical, pioneering aviation in the commercial and military sector, it really doesn't flow from the Rolex and the Omega and the Breitling corners of the market anymore. It comes from smaller innovators like Bell&Ross. Founded in 1992 in Paris, France by Bruno Bellamic and Carlos Rosillo, hence Bell&Ross, the founders' names actually created the name of the company, but it wasn't until 2002 that they started making their own watches in Switzerland, and it wasn't until 2005 that they debuted what's known as the Instrument series, which gave birth to the watch you see here, the Bell&Ross BR-03-92-S, sometimes known as the G.I. Joe or the military type. Now, this watch was part of that family of watches that just defined the modern Bell&Ross look. Big, bold, a simple analog style gauge as though it had been ripped from the flight deck of a Boeing 707 from the 1950s or an F-86 Sabre that just landed from combat in Korea. This is the look of aviation to generations of pilots who grew up on what they sort of fondly called steam gauges these days. And as we've made that transition to glass cockpits and reconfigurable computer displays, this is really the romantic image that people retain when they think of aviation in its formative years, in its more emotionally appealing years. And so this Instrument series captures a little part of that romance, but it also does a great job of redefining what a modern aviation watch should look like. It doesn't look like a GMT Master, it doesn't look like a Speedmaster or a Navitimer. It's its own thing. And to me, original thought is what makes a luxury watch worthwhile. You don't have to have an in-house movement. You don't have to make your case or your dial. You don't have to be an integrated manufacturer or have the hallmark of Geneva on the movement. But if you have an original mechanical or artistic idea and you execute it well, to me, that's the definition of a luxury watch. When paired with appropriate fit and finish materials and mechanics of the right grade, I really can't think of a better way to enter the luxury sector with an aviation-style watch than one of these Bell&Ross Instrument series units. Realistically, they invented this look, they own this, and this one's an interesting innovation because it features what's known as the military-type dial and the military-type strap. Now, it's not a true NATO, it's a nylon partial Velcro that's incredibly comfortable. I gotta say, here's the obligatory wrist shot. You're looking at the 42mm exceptionally flat, I would say cushion style case, but it's really a perfect square. And it sits on the wrist beautifully. This would go under a cuff, even a dress cuff. I'm not sure I would make this a dress watch, but it's got that kind of flush fit. Now my wrist is 6 1/3 inches, that's 16 centimeters to our metric system friends. So I don't have a big wrist. This is a big watch, and yet it fits very comfortably. The lugs are short. I mean, you could see it almost doesn't have lugs. They sit very close to the case, and as a result, the case sits very close to the skin. The strap is wonderfully comfortable, and if you've ever dreamed of just wearing slip-on shoes to work, it's that kind of comfort that you get with this strap. Pull it on, Velcro it, you're good to go. Now, the dial itself is a tribute to those mid-century F-4 Phantom IIs, the F-86 Sabres that did battle over Korea, the pioneering flight instructors in the first couple of flights of the Top Gun fighter training schools. This is just a look that pays tribute to an older generation of military aviation. As much as this watch is called the G.I. Joe online, I don't think G.I. Joe ever flew anything with these kind of instruments. I don't know, maybe Army helicopter aviation. If we've got any old Army helicopter pilots out there, give me a shout out. Let me know if this is what you saw on your flight deck. But realistically, this is a broad tribute to all pioneering military aviation of a bygone age, and it's wonderfully evocative. It's also a beautiful piece to wear because it's just pure fun. It's unpretentious, it has no baggage, and it's wonderfully executed. With this black PVD stainless steel case, a bomb-proof ETA 2892A2 automatic movement inside, this is the kind of watch that you set and forget. With a jump date, automatic winding, 10 ATM of water resistance, it's both reliable in the sense that you'll never really have to change anything with the exception of daylight savings in irregular months. And because it's got that 10 ATM water resistance, it's not a dive watch, but this can go in the pool, this can go swimming. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to self-consciously mind it as you go about your daily business, whether conventional or unconventional. I like to say, boardroom or boardwalk, bathing suit or business suit, this watch is up to what you are. Again, maybe this isn't one for the tuxedo, but for every other occasion, it looks stunning. And because it's so different, not being an Omega or a Breitling or a Rolex, you're going to get a lot of compliments and questions. And you know what? That's part of the fun of owning a luxury watch. Bringing new people into the hobby and into the fold. Not so much trying to impress them with what you wear, but to share that infectious enthusiasm for something that's very different, very unique, and very charming. And this BR-03-92-S, the G.I. Joe from Bell&Ross, is definitely all of those things. Check it out on our website, watchyouwant.com. I'm confident that if you're looking for an aviation watch that's a little bit off the beaten path, maybe flying at a different flight level, this Bell&Ross BR-03-92-S G.I. Joe might be just the watch you want.